I'm Irving, and I have no life, just like you.
The Ballad of Irving. Irving. Big fat Irving. Big sport Irving. The 142nd fastest gun in the West.
At the end of the first game, Master Chief said he figured Halo was just the beginning. Of course, he was right. The war with the Covenant is far from over. I'm guessing they're pretty furious at us for destroying the ring. Let's take a look. That's their holy city?
Get me out of here!
And what's the 9th age of reclamation? What happened to the other 8? Reclamation of what? We never find out. So what's happening in Fun City?
Why was it not destroyed with the rest of their fleet?
It fled as we set fire to their planet.
This is the elite who was commanding the fleet that couldn't stop Master Chief from destroying Halo. Needless to say, his leaders are a little unhappy with him. Best I can tell, the Covenant are ruled by E.T.'s grandparents in their new hats. Cut to Earth Defense Platform Cairo, where Master Chief is getting reamed. Or so the other guy thinks.
The plating was about to fail. There's viscosity throughout the gel layer. Optics, totally fried. And let's not even talk about the power supply. You know how expensive this gear is, son?
Tell that to the Covenant.
You get a quick tutorial on the new suit and then hook up with our old friend Sergeant Johnson. He joins us on an monorail ride.
Earth. Haven't seen it in years. When I shipped out for basic, the orbital defense grid was all theory and politics. Now look, the Cairo is just one of 300 geosync platforms. That Mac gun can put a round clean through a Covenant capital ship. Coordinated fire from the Athens and the Malta, nothing's getting past this battle cluster in one piece. Ships have been arriving all morning. Nobody's saying much, but I'll bet something big's about to happen.
Turns out it's a medal ceremony of some kind, and everybody in the galaxy turned out for it. Neither man is happy about all the attention, but they can't do anything about it, so in they go. And out he goes. We're back in High Charity, where we're finding out just how upset the Council is with the Commander.
Drawn quite a crowd. If they came to hear me beg, they will be disappointed. Are you sure?
Okay, this is making me dizzy.
As if you require assistance.
Also, when did the Covenant tame apes? Where did this guy come from? Hopefully we'll find out somewhere along the way. So who's getting medals? Looks like both Johnson and Master Chief. But we get a lovely interruption.
Go ahead, Cortana.
Another whisper, sir, near Io. We have probes en route.
I apologize, but we're going to have to make this quick.
You look nice.
Thank you.
Cortana. As the Admiral, or whatever he is, pins a medal on Johnson, we get a brief glimpse of what's happening to the Covenant commander. Now he's a heretic and they're tearing his armor off him. Back on Earth, we meet somebody new.
Commander Miranda Keyes, your father's actions were in keeping with the highest traditions of military service. His bravery in the face of impossible odds reflects great credit upon himself and the UNSC. The Navy has lost one of its best.
She's Captain Keyes' daughter, and she's also an officer with her own ship. I have a feeling we'll be seeing more of her. But for now, we return to sadistic fun. As As the medal ceremony ends, Cortana reports 15 Covenant capital ships hanging out just beyond the kill zone. There isn't much time to wonder what's going on because suddenly we have Covenant boarding craft swarming all over the place. Their plan is to take those MAC guns offline so that they can head straight for Earth. Our plan is not to let them do that, and the game finally begins.
Master Chief, defend this station.
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
Right this way.
Super long intros and cutscenes like this are SOP for the Halo games, and this one is no exception. The thing is, most of the time the material is so seamless and devoid of fluff, you don't really notice that you've been watching this particular sequence for 12 hours. There's nothing extraneous, it's all useful information, like the little soliloquy about the MAC gun, or else it's a bit of comic relief like the "you look nice" gag, which by the way is still my favorite scene in the whole game. So let's get into this.
They're in standard formation. Little bastards up front, big ones in back.
Okay then.
All hands, report to battle station.
This battle rifle fires 3-round bursts. If there's a way to change that, I haven't found it. I don't mind, I kind of like it. My game buddy doesn't like it, and that's okay. When we play split screen, she always gets rid of hers early and I get her ammo. Win-win. The other weapon I picked up is an SMG. It works like this. I swapped mine for a plasma rifle and headed for the next checkpoint. You can dual wield several weapons, including the plasma rifle. One nice thing about this is, I still have my secondary weapon available, since you saw I just picked up some ammo for the battle rifle. Getting to it is kind of a clunky process, but it's there if I need it. Nice. The graphics are a lot better, as one would expect, especially in the Covenant. The grunts wear an elaborate breathing apparatus, and somewhere along the way we learn that they breathe methane. That's why a well-placed shot or punch to that thing on their back will kill them. It's their scuba tank. The elites wear some really fancy armor, and we also get a good look at how their mouths work. It's not pretty. I could have done without that. Without warning, the Covenant pull back. Then Athens station explodes. Cortana explains.
Cortana, assessment.
That explosion came from inside the Athens. Same as the Malta. The Covenant must have brought something with them. A bomb.
Then they sure as hell brought one here. Chief, find it.
Off you go. At this point, we're flying blind. We don't have a map, a nav point, anything except Irving's law. Follow the bad guys. Thankfully, there's plenty of them. Along the way, you help Commander Keyes get to her ship, then you see this. What? That's not fair. Why can't I fly too? I want to be able to fly. Master Chief should have little jets in his boots like Iron Man. Wouldn't that be awesome? What was I talking about? Wait a minute. When did the elites learn English? What happened to Wharton? Ah, old woman! Through some doors and you come to one of the weirdest places I have ever seen. I freely admit I've done this a dozen times and I still don't know what all this is or why it does what it does. But right now we have another problem. These are drones, though you'll usually hear the Marines call them buggers. Their thing seems to be swarming over enemies and overwhelming them. As you saw, they're not very good at it. And since they're only armed with plasma pistols or the occasional needler, they're more of a nuisance than anything else. I really don't see that they add anything to the game, and it would have been just as good without them. But we're stuck with them, so as usual, just go with it. Back to this weird place. We have these big thingies going back and forth, and for some reason we have to ride this elevator down to get to it, and then I have no idea.
Chief, we don't have much time.
I can't exactly make this thing go any faster. You got a better idea? So you battle your way to an airlock because the bomb is outside, and it's got a bunch of elites guarding it. As if that'll stop Master Chief. Seriously. You get to the bomb and it's time to disarm it.
Me, inside your head, now.
I've waited my whole life to hear her say that.
How much time was left?
You don't want to know.
Cairo, this is an Amberclad.
So her ship's called an Amberclad. By this time in Earth's history, we were reduced to random sequences of words to name our vessels.
The carrier shield is down. I'm in position and ready for immediate assault.
Negative, Commander. Not against a ship that size. Not on your own.
Sir, permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
To give the Covenant back their bomb.
Permission granted.
This is gonna get crazy, isn't it?
Unfortunately for us both, I like crazy.
I knew she was the girl for me. Master Chief drags the bomb to an airlock and opens the door so the air will suck the bomb out. Then he grabs onto it and goes on a ride that anybody else could only achieve with the aid of numerous illegal chemicals.
Brick, he flew pretty good.
Next, we head for the surface to deal with Covenant forces that landed there. One carrier in particular seemed to seek out a certain spot. We've intercepted some communication from it, and they have a VIP on board, one of those 3 prophets who run the Covenant. His name is Regret, and right now he appears to regret coming to Earth because he's sending a frantic signal begging for help. So our job is to find and capture him, but it might not be easy.
It's out.
Stand by to... Whoa.
That thing's called a scarab. We'll deal with it later. Right now we have some ground pounding to do. Remember what I said about the submachine gun or SMG? Here's a good example. Best I can tell, it shoots flower petals in hopes of smothering the enemy. Seriously, get rid of this thing as quickly as you can. We deal with the usual fare, grunts, elites, and jackals, with one swarm of buggers thrown in because somebody got paid to design them. The Covenant dropships are still a problem, though now they have a name, Phantoms. The shape is similar, but the details are a lot more precise than the first game. In particular, now you can see the guns on it, and at times with the right weaponry, you can do some damage to them. That's always helpful. We deal with our first set of hunters, then move on. Our Pelican has told us to get to a different LZ for pickup, so we may as well get going. We meet some more jackals as we move along, and hey, wait, what's that purple stuff shooting at me from up there somewhere? We'll find out soon enough. It's called a beam rifle. I don't know why. Around the next corner, you get to find one and use it. So it's the Covenant equivalent of the sniper rifle. The dual zoom scope comes in really handy, and not only can it take down a jackal with one shot, it can do the same with most elites. Like all the other Covenant weapons, it's not reloadable, but oh well, you can't have everything. It's pretty basic Halo for the next half hour or so. Great fun, but not really a lot to comment on.
Crash site's on the other side of this hotel, Chief. Covenant are crawling all over it. Follow me.
That was great!
Tell you what, I'll find my own way if it's all the same to you. Looks like it's farther away than we thought, so guess what? It's Warthog time! Naturally, as quick as we get our Warthog, the Covenant have their ghosts. But those are small fry, easy enough to take down if you just avoid them. And the Warthog drives just as great as ever. Take a moment and have some fun.
Got one!
Once that's done and we have to abandon the Warthog, we head into a tunnel of some kind. Here we get to switch to a ghost.
I've been analyzing the Covenant tactical chatter. They're surprised, confused. I don't think they expected us to be here. Not you and me. All of us. Humanity on Earth. Odd, I know, but it does help explain why they came here with such a small fleet.
I had a couple of Marines following me in a Warthog until it got blown up. They took off on foot, but I thought I might need them, so I flipped the Warthog, hopped in, and went and collected them. However you choose to do it, and I love the fact that there's so many choices, you move on, battling your way through this tunnel. At one point, you run into one of those drones. Ever wonder what happens if one lands on your Warthog?
Oh, man!
I finally had to jump out, shoot it, and then get back in. Why the guy in the other seat didn't shoot it, I shall never know. Let's keep going. Then again, I hear Seattle's nice this time of year. Or anywhere else but here. A little further down the line, we meet some more Marines. My Warthog got blown up again, but no problem. I'll just flip it like usual.
If you wanna...
What? That's not supposed to happen. Warthogs are indestructible. Except if a ghost explodes in the front seat, I guess. That's definitely something new, a Warthog with an expiration date. I'm not sure if I like that or not. There was another ghost nearby, so I grabbed that. That meant leaving the Marines to hoof it, but there wasn't much choice. Around the next corner, I encountered some heavy armor. In this version, it looks like the Wraith has a vulnerable point in the form of that gun turret. Take that out, and/or the Covenant operating it, and it's toast. I like that a lot better than the keep bombarding it with crap until something happens approach we had to use in the first game. This gives me something to aim for, which makes it more interesting. Well done. While we're here, take a look at this ghost. Pieces falling off, sparks here and there. That's the health system. The more parts fall off, the lower the health. So it's time to switch. This one looks much shinier. Notice it has all its parts. The Marines found another Warthog somewhere, so they're still with you. Further on, you encounter 3 ghosts at once. It's Demolition Derby time. I win. I win. I win. I win. My ghost flipped again, so I wound up dealing with this Wraith on foot.
Pay for your sins, demon.
My sins?
Ah! Demon flare.
That's one of your flares.
A pox on you, beast!
Okay, the elites learned English. Sort of. What century of English, I'm not sure, but really, a pox?
A pox on the phony king of England!
About 9 days later, we finally reach the end of that tunnel and meet up with the Sarge. He's got a tank for you to go chase that scarab with.
Stay with the Master Chief. He'll know what to do.
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Thanks for the tank. He never gets me anything.
Oh, I know what the ladies like.
I gotta wonder if Master Chief ever gets tired of playing straight man. Truth is, Johnson gets most of the best lines in this game. Hey, he earned it. Let's check out the new and improved Scorpion tank. Not a bad start. How's it do against real armor? Okay then, I'll take it. How much down do you need?
That'll be $22,000.
Never mind. How is it with stuff that flies? Oops.
Heads up!
Is there anything this tank can't do?
Cookie cocoa dispenser. The cocoa comes out nice and hot. And out pops the cookie.
Smartass. While you're doing that, the Marines riding on the tank aren't exactly idle. The guy with the rocket launcher is especially handy, and every so often they even take out a ghost by themselves. Very nice. I'm showing you this more or less complete because several weird things are happening here. First, why is that elite just standing there pounding on the door? Why isn't he trying to yank me out and take control of the tank? Second, notice my shield. Every time he hits the door, he takes my shield down a little. What the heck is up with that? Is air pressure inside the tank damaging my shield? Is it so loud my shields can't handle it? Third, why the hell aren't those Marines shooting this guy? So I hop out, but look at this. He's sitting on the tank like a Marine. Well, that makes it easy. But while I was out, those Banshees did a number on us, and now my tank is on fire. Thanks a bunch, Marines. That was just bizarre. I see what we're going for, but that's one goofy way to try and get there. Which, by the way, we didn't.
It's tight quarters on the other side, sir. Use this.
So there is something the tank can't do. It can't go through a human-sized space. Apparently, it can't even blast its way through. Well, you knew it couldn't last. Beyond the barrier, we started running into jackals with those beam rifles, so first chance I got, I picked one up. What's this thing do?
Don't worry, I'll be gentle.
So that's what it does.
A short trip through a sewer pipe and you come out into an open area. We're still chasing that scarab, which we can hear in the background, but there's a bunch of Covenant with ghosts here too. So we start taking them on. Let's see what happens when I hop on one of them. Okay, that's acceptable. When you do that, the elite will try to continue the fight on foot, or whatever they have. But they're not hard to deal with. Further on, you reach a makeshift command post that opens onto some kind of catwalk area where the scarab is going through. There's tons of weapons and ammo along here, so be sure to stock up on stuff like rockets and grenades. They'll come in handy. The scarab gets jammed up in some tight spaces and can't go any further, and that's when you strike. The task is to fight your way inside this thing and take out the pilots driving it. It's a really good battle with a couple of surprises that at first make you say, "Oh, come on!" But then you realize, yeah, it made sense for that to happen. Even this.
Can't go any further this way. We have it trapped.
The idea is that you're supposed to get inside this thing where the command room is and take it out from there after you kill the elites driving it. Shut up! You've done that at least once too, so don't judge me. The plasma grenades are pretty effective. Look what they did to this elite. Now that he's dead, he can levitate. I'm not sure that's a good trade-off. Once you get inside, the pilots are two red elites. There's a blue elite with a sword in here, and he can mess up your whole day, so be watching for him. If you keep your distance and make judicious use of your grenades, he's not that hard to deal with. Once you're done with him, you can pick up the sword and use it to finish the job. Notice a couple of things here. First, apparently just taking out the pilots made the scarab explode. If that's not the case, then somebody explain to me why we didn't capture it, figure out how it works, and use it against them. But on the plus side, notice what Master Chief was carrying when he came out of there. He's got the sword we were using. Now, if you remember the first game, it didn't matter what we were using at the time. In every cutscene like this, he was carrying the basic assault rifle. I thought at the time that it shouldn't be that hard to detect what weapon he was using before the scene and stick it in there for the sake of continuity. Looks like somebody finally figured out they could do that. Congratulations. With the loss of the Scarab, the Covenant ship decides to bug out. Unfortunately, they open a slip space rupture right there over the city, which releases such an unbelievable amount of energy that it quite literally melts the whole city, killing who knows how many millions of people. Sergeant Johnson calls this glassing, and we'll see it again. Aboard the In Amber Clad, Miranda Keyes is pissed now. She's determined to follow the Covenant ship so we have their location and can get started on a plan of retribution. And with that, we're back to High Charity, where we see that disgraced commander being hauled off to prison. His jailers are an ape-like race known as brutes. Their leader is a particularly nasty guy named Tartarus, and his preferred weapon is the BFH. If you don't know what that is, be grateful. They drag him before the hierarchs, those ET guys who run all the religious stuff and everything else apparently. But our hero is in for a surprise because they don't want to kill him. They want to give him a job. At various times in Covenant history, leaders have arisen called arbiters. The whole situation is a little vague, but the upshot is they want the commander to become the new arbiter and lead a campaign against some rebellious elements within the Covenant themselves. Every arbiter is expected to die in the line of duty, so he's dead regardless. But if he does this, he's revered forever as a hero of his people and his religion. If he declines, he gets eternal damnation from the same people and religion. Give me a minute on that one. Gee, what do you suppose he'll decide?
What would you have your arbiter do?
You board a ship with a team of elites and grunts and make a few rousing speeches.
We shall grind them into dust
and continue our march to glorious salvation.
This guy with the half of his mouth missing. Seriously, how would you describe that? Their mouths have 4 parts and he's missing 1, so that'd be a fourth. Quit overanalyzing. He's the captain of the ship. He pops up a lot, but almost always in cutscenes. Basically, after you battle your way through everything you can imagine by yourself, suddenly at the end of the scene, he's right there with you. I guess he was out having a Covenant smoke while you were doing all the hard work. Oh well, captain's privilege, I guess. I'm really not sure what this place is. It looks like a space station hanging out there the way it is, but it seems to be in an atmosphere. There's never a good explanation that I ever saw, but it could be someplace I haven't really looked. Anyway, let's go get the bad guys. Yes, we're playing as the Arbiter. Should be interesting. Our first task, find the rebels.
Engage active camouflage. Reveal yourselves only after the Arbiter has joined battle with the enemy.
Whoa, that's cool. And now suddenly everybody has it, not just a few privileged elites.
You may wish to do the same, Arbiter. But take heed. Your armor system is not as new as ours. Your camouflage will not last forever.
Well, of course. Can't give the hero any advantages, now can we? So why haven't the slugs with hats updated the Arbiter's armor? Because shut up, all the money went into their new headdresses, okay? You can only earn so many floobity-bobs a week, and if you buy a cool new hat, you do without better armor. Just go with it. The sword has a lifespan just like all other Covenant weapons, but there are others around when yours runs out of juice. It's a nice battle and a nice level, getting inside this place to try and find the rebel leader while his minions try to keep you from it. Basic stuff, but seeing it from a Covenant point of view is interesting and fun. You go through several tasks, opening doors and clearing paths and stuff like that. There's very little that's new, so I'm not going to comment on much of it. It'll keep you entertained for hours, especially if it takes you a dozen tries to do simple tasks the way it goes for me. My biggest gripe about this place is the color scheme. It's so flat and one-dimensional, it's hard to see what's going on. The characters blend into it, so it's often difficult to tell who's what and where. To a degree, the whole game is like that.
IKEA.
IKEA? If I had to sum it up in one sentence, I'd have to say the whole game is too brown. It makes it drab. Thankfully, they fixed that in later games. The grunts have active camouflage too. Here's a new weapon, a sentinel beam. Remember those sentinels that 343 Guilty Spark sent after us on Halo? These are their weapons. And how did they get here? In the cutscene leading up to this, we saw a piece of the original Halo go by, but what we landed on isn't related to it as far as I can tell. This looks more like Lando Calrissian's place. So, how did the Sentinels get here, and why are they broken? And how do you work this thing?
Maybe this one will put her... Hey! Prepare the box on you, beast!
Around the rocks, the rugged rascal ran.
Ooh!
A bit further on, and you actually have to take down some Sentinels. So maybe we are on that piece of Halo. To be honest, I have no idea what's going on. Let's just keep killing bad guys. The heretic leader hops a banshee to keep the Oracle safe, whatever that means. So you grab one and go after him. The captain gives you a phantom to provide some cover. Time for a good old-fashioned dogfight. The banshee looks pretty cool this time around. Like the ground vehicles, we don't have health meters anymore. As you take damage, pieces fall off. Too many pieces fall off and boom, game over. Would you like to restart at the last checkpoint? Simple. And sometimes hilarious when you can tell it's only being held together by static electricity. You fight off several waves of enemies, then track the leader inside a place. You and your team head in after him, but first this grunt has to... Then again, maybe I don't want to know. Before you know it, you're fighting off a bunch of Flood, both spores and converted creatures. Where'd they come from and who'd they find to infest? How should I know? I'm just along for the ride, apparently. So does that mean we are on some kind of subsidiary or piece of the old Halo, or what? I'm so confused. Battling the Flood is hard because you also have Sentinels shooting at everything in the room, including you and your team. So you have to deal with both. Now, why the Sentinels should be hostile toward the Arbiter and his group is never really explained, since neither he nor anybody else has actually done anything to them or their facilities. But hey, that's how video games work, so just go with it. It's a pretty exciting battle, really tough even in easy mode. So quit asking questions and just shoot everything in sight. If it isn't in sight, shoot it to find out why. You ride the world's tallest elevator, one that goes from the surface clear to the core of the planet, or whatever it is we're on, and takes roughly 2 weeks to make the trip. Every 4 days or so it stops so you can fight off another wave of Flood. Then it starts moving again, and we do it all over a few times. This part really feels like padding. It's interesting for a while, but after a few times of doing the same thing, it gets monotonous. Let's get to the bottom of this thing, okay? Where's the turbo button? When you get to the bottom, rebels start showing up and fighting the Flood. But of course, they have a few shots left for you, too. By far, the best new weapon in this game is the energy sword. We saw these in the first game, but didn't get to use them because they vanished when we killed the elites holding them. This time, we get to pick them up and do some nice up-close and personal hacking and slashing. Back in the first game, the best weapon for taking out Flood was the shotgun, and if you can still find one, it's still plenty effective. But the sword is way more fun. There's at least 4 in this room, so take as long as you want. And carving up Flood with it doesn't even drain it that much, so you get a lot of mileage out of one. Nice job, Bungie. There's a storm coming, plus you don't have enough troops to deal with all the Flood. The captain says they've spread throughout the station. So we're on a station, not on Halo. Arr!
Let it go, let it go.
Good advice. Let's just get this guy and go home. The rebel leader locks himself in a closet, which will protect him from the storm and from the Arbiter, so the Arbiter comes up with a perfectly sane, rational plan to spook him out.
Cable. I'm going to cut it. Get everyone back to the ships.
Cable? What cable? Well, apparently, there's a huge cable at the top of this station holding it up in the air. If he cuts it, the station will plummet down to... what? I still have no idea where we actually are. What's this cable attached to? So there's something up above it and it's dangling there like a sun catcher?
That doesn't make sense.
If it's a space station, then it should just be hanging there in orbit around a planet or something. If it's attached to something and hanging by a cable like a giant Christmas ornament, then it's not a space station, is it? By now, I am so completely lost, all I can say is... Can you guess? Right. Just go with it. Another nifty thing you can do in this game is trade weapons with someone else. I'm going to be meeting a lot of Flood, so his sword will be a lot more useful than my carbine. So you fight off a bunch of Flood and get up to the top where you start cutting the cables. Do that 3 times and the station goes into freefall. Freefall to where or what, we still don't know. But it doesn't matter, the tactic works. He comes out and runs. He grabs yet another Banshee in order to make the game longer, heads to a nearby hangar and gets out again. He's still on the free-falling station, so I'm not sure what that gained him. Let's finish this. There's a bunch of Flood in the way, but it's mostly busy work. You can take out several at once with a well-placed grenade. Just remember, if you use a plasma grenade, make sure the target is a good distance from you. That's why. Of course, eventually you catch up with him and tell him to turn and meet his doom. But he has a little surprise for you.
Arbiter, I would rather die by your hand than let the prophets lead me to slaughter. Who has taught you these lies? The Oracle.
Hello, I am 343 Guilty Spark. I am the monitor of Installation 04.
Ask the Oracle about Halo. How they would sacrifice us all for nothing.
More questions? Splendid.
Whoa! The Arbiter is listening, so let's see what Sparky has to say. Maybe we can end this without more bloodshed.
I would be happy to assist you.
What? Why did he do that? He had the Arbiter's attention. He told the Arbiter to ask the Monitor what's really going on, and the Arbiter was getting ready to do just that. Why did this idiot suddenly start shooting and short-circuit the whole thing? If he could get a major figure like the Arbiter on his side, imagine what that would do for his cause. But I guess this guy's more interested in being a martyr than in actually accomplishing something. So he's a Republican. Sorry, I couldn't resist. He tosses out a couple of holographic duplicates of himself, so you have to figure out which is the real one and take him out. It's not too hard.
Unfortunate. His edification was most enjoyable.
I had no choice, Holy Oracle. This heretic imperiled the great journey.
Oracle? Great journey? Why do you meddlers insist on using such inaccurate verbiage?
That is the Oracle. So it is. Come, we are leading this system.
That guy is going to be trouble. I can feel it. Considering how he looks, it's probably a good thing I can't smell it, too. Meanwhile, Commander Keyes' ship drops out of slip space right next to another Halo. We already know what that means, so Master Chief, Sergeant Johnson, and a squad of Marines are dropping down to disable it the way we did the first one. The Covenant are already there, trying to find the control room. Why? At this point, we can only guess. Let's go stop them.
Could we possibly make any more noise? I guess so.
I still love you, Cortana. You clear an LZ, hold off a couple of counterattacks, then it's Warthog time. One of my favorite parts of any Halo game.
Yeah, nail the ghost!
The goal is to clear this place out so we can extend the bridge over this little gorge. There's a Wraith on the other side lobbing shells at you, but it's not hard to avoid. In the building, you find this. This is the Prophet of Regret. Nothing like giving yourself a nice happy title, eh? Cortana discovers that he's giving some kind of sermon and says she'll translate it if he says anything interesting. Yeah, well, enough of that. Time to swap our Warthog for something with a little more oomph. The ultimate goal is to get to a sort of ferry platform so you can ride a gondola of sorts out to an island where the controls are. Or maybe that's where the map room is. I didn't actually catch what we're looking for. But basically, if the Covenant want it, so do we, and we want it first. Getting past all the convoluted buildings and all the Covenant resistance takes about 12 hours if you're a good player. So of course it took me about 3 days. Every so often the Covenant put out these freestanding shields, kind of like the steel plates that we saw in the Brothers in Arms games. A well-placed tank round will take them out and then you can move on. Once they're out of the way, you can engage the Covenant and not worry about... except if it grows back and throws your tank on its head. Okay, that's good to know. A Pelican drops some troops to help you clear out the interior of the place, and then you keep going toward the eventual goal. It's a long way, but they do try to keep it interesting. Emphasis on try. Basically, we have to follow this stream to who knows where, and there are a zillion jackals along the way, most with beam rifles so they can pick you off from a good distance. The best thing to do is grab one of your own and try to take as many out from long range as you can. Eventually, you get to the gondola port, where you encounter a bunch of super elite honor guards. These are distinguished by their fancy armor and the way they go down before an energy sword strike, just like any other elite. Once you finish with them, Cortana makes a discovery.
Wait, go back. That's what I thought he said. The Prophet of Regret is planning to activate Halo.
Are you sure?
I shall light this holy ring, release its cleansing flame, and burn a path into the divine beyond.
Pretty much.
Commander, we've got a problem.
When the Chief relays this info to Miranda, she points out that the Prophet needs the Index. She knows where it is, so that's her next stop. Get it before the Covenant do. Meanwhile, we're off to deal with the Prophet of Regret. You fight your way to the gondola pier, where you also meet your first pair of hunters in this game. Then you watch the gondola come in. Naturally, it's full of Covenant reinforcements. Once you deal with them, you hop in and take off. Instantly, another one starts coming at you from the other end, and it's a safe bet it's not the food cart. Conveniently, the two vehicles just happen to stop right opposite each other. That sets us up for another nice little firefight, because that's what we need most. God forbid we get on with the story. Just as conveniently, as quickly as you finish off the last Covenant soldier from that other gondola, yours starts moving again. Gosh, what are the odds of that? As you approach the structure in the middle of the lake, you can zoom in with your scope and see that it's heavily defended. So you fight your way in. Fortunately, you have Senor Stereotype to help you.
Alien, why don't you turn down the suck?
Why does every Hispanic video game character sound like Cheech Marin? After I wrote that line, it occurred to me maybe this was Cheech, so I checked. No, it's not. So there goes their only excuse. Once you clear the place out, you get to take a submerged elevator to another complex. And you know you're having a pretty good day when you get to use the words submerged elevator in a sentence.